Where will Lamar Jackson take the biggest step in his game in 2023?
Well, first of all, I think Lamar's going to have a huge season. I think that the contract, having that done is just a weight lifted off of his shoulders, off of everyone's shoulders. It's not something to talk about anymore. So, like, you just get that done, and I think that's going to make everything better. And so I think that Lamar is going to have a really good season, and I think that it's going to rival what he did in 2019. So where will he take those strides? I think it's going to be with the passing game as a whole. I think his running numbers will come down a little bit.
That's too broad.
Hold on. I think I think that his running numbers will come down. I think that this will be a season where he doesn't rush for over 1,000 yards.
Okay.
I think that his passing numbers will take a jump. And so where does he see that growth in passing? Because if you're getting mad here before I even have finished my answer.
Specifics. You're just filibustering.
No.
Hit me with some specifics.
I think where he will see make some big strides this year, I really think it's going to be in the downfield passing attack.
Deep
passing game.
Okay.
I just think that's an area over the past few years where there's been opportunities. At times, the Ravens have had injuries that have limited them from a deep passing attack. There's been so much attention on the running game and on the tight ends. And I think that you need the weapons to push the ball deep. I think the Ravens have the weapons with Odell Beckham Jr., with Zay Flowers, with Rashad Bateman. And I think that they have the play caller in Todd Monken, that he's going to scheme up ways to try to hit some deep shots. And I think that Lamar has the ability to do so. And I that's where I think there's going to be some big plays this year, more than we've seen in the past. I think that his rapport with these guys is going to be really important. And that's where I see it. I think there's going to be some big shots this year. And so I think the deep passing game is where he'll take his biggest step.
Okay. I like that answer. And I like, you add speed guys, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, certainly a speed guy. Bateman, we already know, and OBJ. I think there's more weapons. Devin Duvernay, one of the fastest guys on the team. There's just more weapons, I think, with big time downfield ability. Nelson Aguilar, I think, is a great example of that. They're going to hit some big plays this year. The area where I see Lamar really it's not taking the next stride in his game, but it's kind of harkens back to 2019 with Lamar. And it's not really an X's and O's thing for me. It's kind of the fun playing the game. That's what I expect from Lamar. And that's what I think we all fell in love with and the world fell in love with in 2019 was just how much Lamar looked like a kid playing the game in 2019, man. He was just having a blast. And I think with more control of this offense, he's talked about how Todd Monken has given him the keys. I think we're going to see a weight off his shoulder and just a more confident, happier, more fun-loving Lamar Jackson, right? And so, when he's in that mode, I think he also can just get on these really hot streaks. It's not
that's the 5 touchdown passes in the first half that we saw against the Rams in 2019.
I mean, the comeback against the Colts. Lamar Jackson, when he's hot, he sees the field so well and can really, and he has the arm talent to make any throw. When he's really feeling it, Lamar Jackson's unstoppable. And that's what I expect. I think that the change in coordinator, I think those two get along really well, Lamar and Todd Monken. And I just think that with more control, you're going to see a more confident, more fun-loving Lamar Jackson.
All right, so you pressed me that passing was too broad. So what is that, where does that, the fun-loving, it's great, you're smiling, you're dancing, whatever.
Yeah.
But where does that actually make a difference in a game? Is that by...
Like I'm saying, I think that you see a big difference with Lamar when, Lamar is one of his own harshest critics. And when things aren't really going well and when he's not passing the ball a lot, then I think you see him sometimes, it's a little tougher, and he can be pretty hard on himself. And so I think that in control more, and I expect him to be throwing the ball more. I expect him to be completing more balls. I think that he'll just be in a better frame of mind. I think it's also to kind of your point of the contract is out of the picture now. Whatever weight that had on his shoulders, if it did, he doesn't really say it did last year, but if it did, that's gone.
Yep.
Right. I just think that it's not really oh, well, now he's going to be throwing the ball better over the middle or outside the numbers or anything like that. I think it's just that you're going to see a more confident Lamar Jackson who can better catch fire. You're going to see fewer of those times when you're like, he just doesn't seem like he's got it today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you see the vertical passing attack that I mentioned?
I do. I agree with your point.
Yeah.
I also though think that like if the Ravens spread out more, Lamar Jackson's really good at throwing the ball over the middle of the field.
I know.
He sees the ball. He sees the middle of the field really well, and I think that with a more spread attack, you're just going to get more space over the middle. It's not going to be so congested, and when they're not playing the run as much. And so I actually kind of think, while I agree the downfield passing game with better weapons to utilize it, and Lamar, needs to continue to improve his downfield passing as well. I think he will. I kind of think that we'll see more of what we saw in 2019, where he was just carving up people over the middle a little bit more.
Yeah, and maybe it's both. Maybe like one of my favorite throws that he ever made was, I think it was his rookie year, that play to Mark Andrews against the Chargers.
That was like a deep over. Yeah.
That was over the middle, and it was deep, so it was kind of both. So maybe there'll be some of those shots. I
kind of think of the Rams game when he lit up the Rams, and it was just like
a little more methodical. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, and that's when the I can't do it.
Yeah.
But that's the Lamar Jackson that like I expect to see more of this year.
Yeah. Well, if we get that version of Lamar, then it's going to be a really good offense. I think we both agree that he's going to have a big time season. I think he's going to have, he is going to be one of the best players in the league, and I expect him to be right in the thick of the MVP conversation really throughout the entire year.
Yep.